dear friends, today I am going to do something new. The new thing is that I am going to share a recorded audio journal which I made on 4th of April 2025. The time of the recording was 12:34 p.m. to be precise. The reason I decided to share on this platform, this particular audio journal, is because of the significance of this topic, and I consider the contents of the audio recording as important, and that's the reason, instead of re-recording and missing out on some of the significant points I have included there, I decided to straight away share the raw, unfiltered version of the recording I made. Just to give you a little context before I start sharing the audio recording. So I was reading through the book of Genesis from the Bible, and the stories that I came across there gave me a deeper understanding and insights into the current day practices of our people in our society, and that's how I was inspired to record on the same topic with whatever things that came on my mind. And so this is just a disclaimer. Just want to let you know that whatever I share is purely based on my understanding and my little experience. And so if there are things that you do not agree with, I am totally okay with that. I'm not trying to push anything to you which you do not want, but I just want to make sure that if there is anything that is worth considering, that is worth rethinking and reevaluating and working upon bringing some positive change, then please be blessed through the listening of this recording that I made on this particular topic. So the topic is related to the preference for male child over female child, which is common in most places, and especially in our place. We see how our culture perceives this reality, and so I am not going to waste more time speaking on this, but I'll let the recording speak for itself, and I'm sure you will love it too. Thank you in advance for your interest in this particular topic.
Well, here's one thing I want to say. As I read through Genesis chapter 19, verse 37, I come across this thing. The firstborn bore a son and called his name Moab. He is the father of the Moabites to this day. So, and also 38 says, and a younger, she also bore a son and called his name Ben-Ami. He is the father of the people of Ammon to this day. Reading this 37 and 38 verses of chapter 19 Genesis, which comes under the heading of the descendants of Lot. So we know that the two daughters of Lot, they thought about their father's descendants, someone to carry the name of their father. And they were concerned that since there's no one to come to them to be their husband, so that they can produce some offspring for their father. And so with their human understanding, with their human beliefs, or probably with the mindset that they have cultivated over time as they grow up in Sodom and Gomorrah, these two girls, they decided to do something with good intention maybe, but the act that they did was just so disgusting, and it only tells us about the depravity of the impact of living in the land of Sodom and Gomorrah, where they become desensitized to the idea of how ugly it is to behave that way. Well, people may have different reasons to rationalize the thing they do, and they may bring up culture and all of those things, but as we look at the Bible, we see a lot of things which is done by the righteous people, even in those times when there is so much prevalence of all the ugly practices. The good people, people with a sincere heart and a clean, pure heart, they still find themselves doing something good and staying away from all the unhealthy thing, the ugly thing. And so culture is not the best excuse or explanation for some sort of ugly and unhealthy or disgusting decision that people take. And so, yes, if we have to talk from the other angle, we have so many reasons to understand and accept, maybe not the act, but the reason for what brought them to that place. Somehow we, as a human, we have a soft corner for them to accept their situation. But today I'm going to be going straight to the point in this matter. So when I see this, it gives me, reading through these two verses gives me the revelation about one thing. Today when we look at people, it's, I don't know if everybody will accept this beliefs or perception to be similar to what they have. Maybe there are some people who genuinely have a pure heart, and so it may not relate to what I'm going to say now, but majority of the people, as it is our custom or as it is our social, belief, that anybody who gives birth to many boys, or forget about many boys, anybody who gives birth to a boy child, a male child, as the firstborn, is somewhat considered to be like a good thing, a better thing than to get a daughter. Though they really love the idea of being blessed with a daughter, they really love their daughter so much. But we have been brought up in a patriarchal society that the birth of a boy child and male child is made more, or believed, or even considered. And even when it is not spoken, we all have that mindset within us, deep within us, that okay, it's a male child. So though we prefer any child, whether female or male child seems to be on a better side of the preference, and so that's how we grew up, and till today we have that thing going on. And why that is so? Because we are concerned about how the future of the grandparents will be carried forward by this male child, since the name of the family is carried by the male child. And a female child, no matter how smart and capable they are, the moment they get married, they no longer carry the name of their father's family. And so that, because of that factor, people are so concerned about leaving the name, having someone to carry forward the name of their parents, that they ultimately, or by default, find themselves accepting this belief and perception. And no matter how much we try to get rid of that, it still is prevalent, and it still is clearly seen. And as a person, we too feel the same way. If I have to be honest, that is what people think, and that is what I am conditioned to think as well, as I grow up in society and as I get older and see the realities of everything and how things played out. And so we are conditioned by the society first of all, and by the reality secondly. And this has been the factor. But in verse 37 and 38, how can we say that the birth of Moab and the birth of Ben-Ami, see, they slept with their father, and then they could, God could have let them get pregnant with a baby girl for both the sisters, but they got pregnant with male child in those two cases. And do we consider them as blessed because they got pregnant with male child? No, I never consider. Reading through this verse never makes me feel that oh yeah, these two people, they're so, regardless of the poor decision they have made, they have achieved what they wanted. Moab, a boy. Ben-Ami, another boy again. How is it? And so that is like, did God bless? Was God happy with the heck they did? No. Did God bless them with a boy child? because he was happy with them, because he accepted their plan? No. So then, what is that? And the reason they did what they did was for the name, to continue caring for the name of his father. And exactly like how they planned, they also got male child. And so it feels like everything is going so well in their favor, and God is saying amen to whatever they decided and whatever they did. But none of those things, no matter how aligned your plan and the result of certain wishes looks like, I can still never agree that this case in any way supports the idea that being blessed with a male child, when they wanted to do that for that very reason, is, being blessed with a male child is a blessing from God. No, it's never. Whether it's a male child or female child, whoever comes to any family, they are the most blessed one. We are not to determine by the number of female, by the number of male, or by the absence of any female or any male, that somebody has something going on in their life. No, I don't accept that. And we see that again in Hagar's life. Well, Sarah planned that, and her plan was wrong. It was against God. And so he could have insulted her plan by letting Hagar get pregnant with a baby girl, with a female child. And then God can teach Abraham and Sarah a lesson that whatever they do will never prosper. So even with that itself, he can do that. But she got pregnant with a boy. Boy child was born. And so it looks like so far what Sarah did was correct. But we find out the reality of that. And so in these two cases, we see how they were blessed with male child. But being blessed with a male child are never the indication of God's blessing. Being blessed with a male child itself are never the indication of God's blessing upon them. It just happens according to God's sovereign will, not because of how God wants to bless them by blessing them with male child. It's never the case.